At night, Henry overheard his mother and Frank talking while brushing his teeth. Adele didn't want to live a secret life. She wanted to travel to a place where no one knew. They began moving towards freedom, but her ex-husband refused to let her take their son. Hearing this, Henry's heart sank. His mum leaving him for love and fleeing abroad? Henry tossed and turned all night, as alert as if he'd had coffee. Mum asked Henry to go to the library to borrow some books, and coincidentally, he bumped into his crush. He found himself sitting across from the girl of his dreams, and suddenly it turned into a casual chat session. She moved here with her dad, believing Henry's mum had a new partner, leaving him with his dad. The girl's words made Henry more uneasy. At night, returning home, he saw his mother and Frank dancing vibrantly, as youthful as if they'd just stepped out of a shower. But Henry grew more anxious. As he turned to leave, his mum called him back. Subtitles. She mentioned that they were planning to immigrate to Canada, leaving Henry utterly stunned. Could it be that he would only be able to keep in touch with them through international calls in the future? What are you talking about? Are you actually still concerned about what happens to me? What? Is this not important? We're all leaving. Is this happening? I will never leave you. And Henry finally felt a wave of relief wash over him. He decided to drive to Canada and began packing next day. Halfway through, Henry rushed out like a headless chicken. He hopped on his bike to find his crush and say goodbye. But when the girl heard he was leaving tomorrow, she thought he was an escaped convict. In panic, Henry admitted it, believing she wouldn't betray him. Suddenly, she kissed him and said something troubling. It's such a shame you're leaving. I'll just have to find some other guy to chat with. This left him feeling utterly flustered. Frank's wound is infected and requires care, otherwise tomorrow's journey will be problematic. No disinfectant at home, Henry's away, so Adele must rush to buy some. Panic bubbled up inside Adele like a shaken soda can. Seeing her flustered, Frank thought she had changed her mind about leaving, so he jumped in the car and told her there was still time to back out. Adele assured him she had never been this eager to leave her entire life, though she felt a bit scared. Since having Henry, she had a string of miscarriages, and some babies didn't even take a breath after being born. This made Adele utterly overwhelmed. Every time she saw others pregnant, she lost her appetite for wandering about, feeling like the world had turned cold. Gradually, she avoided going out, and the fear grew inside her. If things went smoothly, her husband would leave her in the meantime. Frank held her close, his heart aching, and that night, they gave the cozy home one last tidy-up. Next morning, still dim, Henry sneaked out to give his dad a letter, but ran into a patrol car. The police, seeing him all alone, figured he might be in danger and insisted on giving him a ride home. Henry resisted with all his might, but eventually caved under the officer's firm demand. Adele felt a wave of unease as she saw Henry get out of the police car. The officer approached, taking note of their packed car, and she could only explain nervously. Thanks to Adele's wit, he only helped move. Frank came down after the police left. He felt they could no longer delay and instructed Adele to withdraw some cash from the bank, planning to leave right after. However, withdrawing a large sum at once drew suspicion. Adele fumbled nervously, and staff grew wary. Henry spoke up just in time. The staff was amused, and even though Adele was a bundle of nerves, they actually let them through. Poor Frank at home wasn't so lucky. His female neighbour popped in for a surprise visit and ran smack into him. She wasn't sure if it was the stranger's confusion or recognition of Frank. Seeing him approach, she nervously stepped back. Frank quickly explained that he had simply come to repair some items. Adele had gone to send the kids off to school, and the sight of all the packed luggage left the female neighbour utterly confused. After getting rid of the neighbour, shortly after, the mother and son returned, and Frank knew time was running. Just then, Henry heard his dad's voicemail and rushed upstairs to call back, Frank chasing after. In the distance, sirens approached, panic sweeping over everyone. Adele urged Frank to go first, but he refused. He knew what would happen if he left them behind. He didn't want to be that irresponsible guy. In order not to implicate the mother and son, Frank took out a rope, bound Adele and Henry up, and then gently informed them of what he was going to do next. After that, he made the decision to turn himself in. Mother and son watched helplessly as he was taken. Frank got another 25-year term. In the days that followed, Adele frantically sought legal counsel to help defend Frank. But the lawyer told her that this might lead to her being charged with harboring a fugitive. Adele loved Frank deeply, but she didn't want to ruin Henry's life in the process. With no other options, she could only visit Frank in jail and keep sending him caring letters. However, Frank refused to see her or accept her letters because he didn't want to involve her in his mess. Adele knew this was his protection. Tears fell as all three drowned in longing, time passing swiftly. Henry grew from a scrappy kid into a handsome young man. He didn't chase after childhood dreams but opened a little dessert shop on the corner. The items he sold were the fruit pies that Frank had instructed him on how to prepare. On this particular day, he received a letter originating from prison. The 5 best days of my life, and I've been thinking about who you've become. Then one day at a party, you popped up right in front of me. I'm so proud of you, and if you choose not to respond, I understand. But don't forget to hit like and subscribe.